All right, so we're able to add posts now through our API. Now we want to be able to get them. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go underneath this route. And we're going to make a GET request now to API posts. And this is going to get all posts. And this is actually going to be, originally I was going to make this public. However, we're not going to be able to see the post page unless we're logged in. So we might as well make it private. And I mean, it's up to you guys. If you want it to be public, that's okay. But like I said, the way that we're building the front end, you have to be logged in to even see the posts. Profiles are public, but posts are not. That's one of the main reasons for getting people to sign up is to communicate with other developers. So let's do that. And there may be a couple things throughout the course that I change along the way that I just realized. So that's one of them. So let's do, we want to do router.get. And let's do just slash. Okay, we want to add in our auth middleware since it's private. And then let's do request response sync request response, and then let's see, this is going to be pretty simple actually. We're just going to do a try catch and just copy this. So in this try catch, or in this try I should say, we're going to get a variable of posts, and we can get that by doing await, then using our post model and using find. And I'm going to sort as well, so we're going to do dot sort, and I want these to be from the most recent, so we want to add in here sort by date, but we want to do a -1, which will do the most recent first. If you want oldest first, you can do, well, I think that's the default, but you could do date 1 for that. And then let's just do res.json and return our post. So really simple. So we'll try it out. Let's make a GET request. API posts. Oh, we made it private, so we need a token. So I'll just go ahead and add in my preset and send again. And there we go. We see our 2 posts, one by Brad, one by John Doe. Okay, so pretty easy. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to get a single post by the ID. But first I'm just going to save this. So this get all posts. All right, so let's go back and I'll just copy this. So we'll go ahead and do a GET request, and it's going to be posts / and then the ID of the post. And then for the description, let's say get post by ID. And we're just going to do /:ID. And then in the try catch, let's see, we're going to do const post singular, and then we're going to use the method find by ID, and then we're going to pass in here request.params.id, which will allow us to get it from the URL. And then let's just get rid of this sort. Oops, I keep doing that. All right, so that should do it. And then as far as the response, before we do that, I mean, we want to return with the post, but we also want to check to see if there is a post with that ID. So let's say if not post, then we'll go ahead and return a status of, let's do 404 because it's not found. And we'll just do a message we'll say post not found. All right, now we're going to have the same issue that we had with getting, what was it, a profile. If what they pass in as an ID is not a valid object ID, then this, whatever is in here, is going to run. Okay, and I want to have the same message if that's true. So what I'll do is copy this if statement, and I'm going to go right in the middle here and paste it in. But the condition I want to check is this error object has a property called kind, and I want to see if that's equal to object ID. Okay, if it's equal to object ID, it means that it's not a formatted object ID, which obviously there's not going to be a post found, so we want this same response, if that makes sense. All right, so let's save that, and let's go. I'm just going to copy this URL here. Let's open up a new tab, and let's do slash. Now we need an ID, so I'm going to just grab this one by John Doe, put that in there, and also add into the headers, I'm going to add our token and then send. And there we go. So we get an object with all the post data. Now, let's save this. Say get post by ID. And if I do a valid object ID that is not found, we get post not found. Or if I do something that isn't even a valid object ID, I still get post not found. Now we still have a little bit more time in this video, so we might as well do the delete. It's not that much code, so we'll go ahead and do that. I'll actually copy this whole thing right here. Okay, so to delete a post, we're going to do a delete request, and we're going to need the post ID, so /:ID, and let's say delete a post. Right here we want to do :ID, and we also want to make sure that this is a delete. All right, now in the try, we want to find the post, so we're going to do just like we did in the find by ID. We're going to use find by ID. I'm going to pass in request.params.id, and then let's go ahead and get rid of the sort. Now we want to make sure that the user that's deleting the post is the user that owns the post. Okay, and I think that that's one of the mistakes I made in the first version of this course, is we didn't do that check. And even though it wasn't possible in the UI, in the front end, you still don't want that to even be possible in the back end, doing it through Postman or something. So let's go ahead and do a check on the user. Okay, so we'll do, let's say, if post.user. Now, we want to match the post user. We want to check to see if the user is not equal to the request.user ID, which is the logged in user. But what's going on here is this is a string, and this is not. This is an object ID. So what we need to do for these to match is to just add on the toString method, which will turn it into a string. Because if we don't do this, it will never match, even if it's the right user. So if the user doesn't match the user that's logged in, we're going to return res.status, and let's do 401, which is not authorized. And we'll go ahead and send a message, user not authorized. Okay, else then we're just going to call remove. So we need to do await post.remove. And then as far as what we want to return, I'm just going to return a message that says post removed. And that should do it. So let's save. Actually, you know what? We should probably do the same thing we did here, because if if this isn't a valid object ID, then we should probably say user not found, or I'm sorry, post not found. So down here, let's add that in. We should also handle if the user doesn't exist. So let's do if not, I'm sorry, I keep saying user, I mean post. If the post doesn't exist, we'll do post not found. Okay, so let's save that. Let's open up a new tab here. Actually, you know what I'll do is let's add a dummy post just to delete. So I'll go to add post, go to the body here, and we'll say delete me. And you can see that that gets added. If we search all of our posts, we should see that right there. So what we want to do is grab this ID, and in our new tab, close that up. In our new tab, we're going to make a delete request to API posts / and then the ID, and we just need our token, and we get post removed. Now if I go back to get all posts, when I refresh, this should not be here, and it's not, it's gone. Good. And if I were to do something that's not a valid post, I get post not found, even if it's something that's not a valid object ID. Okay, so let's save this. So delete post. All right, cool. So in the next video, I want to start to work on adding and removing likes. So we'll be making a put request to do that because we're updating a post. So we'll get into that in the next video.